What's up guys? Welcome to my video. What's up guys? Welcome to my video. What's up guys? Welcome. What's up guys? Welcome to my video. Today I'm going to show you how to make vegan pierogies. I will say that this whole process did take me a solid 2 hours to complete. The steps are really easy to do, but you have to cook the onions for an hour, let the dough rest for an hour, like actually make every single pierogi with your hands, which took like another 45 minutes. But at the end of the day, if you're cooking for like a whole family and you were going to eat all of these in one sitting, I probably wouldn't, unless you really just love cooking and you're really fast at it. But if you are cooking for one person or two people, I think it makes a total of like, for me, this would be like 10 servings worth. For my boyfriend and I, it's like 6 servings because he eats probably double what I eat. However, so I make this batch of pierogies, we have it for dinner that night, lunch the next day, and then the other half go in the freezer, and we can have the same thing like the next time we want pierogies, and then all you have to do is just boil them. It's really quick. So definitely worth it in like a meal prep sense, but I definitely don't make it all the time. It's a lot of work. But there's only like, honestly, like 5 ingredients. You can put whatever ingredients you want in it. I only pretty much just use like 5 ingredients. The total cost for buying these ingredients, I want to say probably like $6. Yeah, like all you need is potatoes, onion, like I put in some greens. I just bought like a $3 bag, like big bag of frozen mixed greens, and then flour and water. It's pretty basic. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So our first step is just to chop up the onion. I use like 1.5 like large white onions. I think you could use any color of onion you want. I just chose just plain white ones. And then we are going to put those into a pan once we're all done. This is we're going to caramelize these onions, which basically just means overcook them for about an hour. I put a little bit of oil. You could probably use water too if you don't want to use oil. Next we are going to make the dough. Okay, I need to pause for a second because I saw this technique online somewhere. Horrible. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I don't know. Oh, it hurts to watch this happen again. But anyway, okay, so fast forward 20 times. 9 minutes later, we add some oil. Okay, we're making the dough. I think the trick is like you were supposed to add the water in slowly, but I didn't catch that part. Anyway, okay, now it has been like 10 minutes of me cleaning the counter, but now we have dough. So we're gonna put that in a bowl, cover it with tea towel, and that's gonna rest for an hour. Now I'm just chopping up these potatoes. They're just going to go in like a pot of boiling water just to soften them up because we're going to mash them eventually, so the way you cut them isn't that important. This is like what the onions will look like about like 20 minutes in. The key is just keeping them covered because then like the liquid all stays in and they don't like burn to the bottom of the pan. These are just frozen leafy greens from the freezer, and I'm putting a little bit of water covering them up. Gonna microwave them for 2.5 minutes, I think is what the box said. Now our potatoes are soft after about like 20 minutes or so. I'm adding Nutritional yeast and a 1/4 cup of soy milk, and then also some chopped garlic. In hindsight, I honestly should have just used garlic powder because the garlic was a bit powerful. Then our onions go in there once they're caramelized, and we're gonna mix it all up. And then finally we are gonna add our greens in there. And this is going to be the paste for the pierogies. Again, you can really use anything you want in here, but that's just what I chose, and it was pretty tasty. Also, when I said paste, I meant filling, but you know. Now this is our dough after it's rested for an hour. Resting just meaning like it's been sitting in a bowl covered with a tea towel. I took a little piece and rolled it out. You could honestly like do this in bigger pieces to save time. This is a mason jar lid that I'm using to make little circles, and then we're gonna roll them out as flat as possible pretty much because you don't want your pierogies to be too doughy. And I like to make them kind of in like an oval because you're gonna fold it like long side up, as you will see shortly, so from the bottom to the top, and then you just pinch in the corners. My trick here, like my advice would be, don't overfill them because it's really hard. Like if that potatoey filling gets in the cracks, your pierogi will not shut properly. So definitely like make your dough really thin, put a little bit, like that's probably even too much, but we made it work, and then you just pinch around the edges and that's it. Yeah, and that is pretty much it. I'm gonna write like the actual instructions for the recipe and the exact ingredients that I used in the like comments or like caption or whatever for this. It's also like I also posted the recipe on my Instagram, which I'll link in the notes as well. Oh yeah, just to cook the pierogies, all you do is just put them in like a pot of boiling water and they will float to the top when they're ready. Which like if you're making them, like if you're cooking them right from fresh, it'll take like 5 minutes for them to start floating, and then if you're cooking them from frozen, like probably closer to 10 minutes. But they're pretty hard to mess up. Like I've never, like if you overcook them, I guess that they would just kind of like fall apart. But if you if you undercook them, like everything's already pretty much cooked anyway. Like we already cooked all the vegetables and stuff, so the only thing is that the dough might be a little bit mushy. But yeah, once they're floating, they're good to go. I usually just put them with like marinara sauce and just eat them like that, and that's it. You can put like some more veggies on the side if you want, or beans or something, because beans are the only thing kind of like missing from this recipe in terms of like protein. Like I wouldn't say that this is a super high protein meal if that's something that you're concerned about. But we have like those greens that I used are like mixed kale, spinach, and collard greens, so that's great, and then onion, potato, and some garlic in there. So yeah, you could also play around with the dough. I definitely think you can make this gluten-free by I use just like regular all-purpose flour, like white flour. You could probably use whole grain flour or whole wheat flour if you wanted to, and you could also probably use rice flour, but seeing as how much I struggle currently with like making dough, even just with like basic flour, I'm going to wait before I try to explore those other flour options. But if you are a pastry chef or you've made bread before or anything like that, please let me know how I can be a better dough maker, and yeah, let me know if you tried it, and I hope it worked out. Okay, thanks guys.